Welcome to the Premier Outlook's daily update on the English Premier League. Today we're going to start off going over some of the Premier League friendlies that went down in the past 2 days. Rapid Vienna, the Austrian club, beat Chelsea in Conte's first match 2-0. Arsenal, funny enough, lost to Boreham Wood 3-0. And Crystal Palace last night beat FC Cincinnati 2-0. So now on to the Premier League transfers. First off, we have one about a new Arsenal striker, potentially. Yesterday it was Higuain, and Marzio was reporting that that could be a done deal. But now today, I'm seeing news that Mauro Icardi has flown to London for his Arsenal medical. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but I think that'd be a good signing for them.
What I see is that from that he's maybe better on the ball, but he kind of reminds me of Giroud, and I feel like somebody, a physical presence like that is something the Arsenal fans don't really want.
Right, they
Because
want...
Giroud's a class striker, but because of the way he plays, they don't necessarily want him. But
He doesn't fit the pacey Arsenal style.
right, that's what I was thinking. Like when Walcott plays up top, they really enjoy that, so why not a player like that? Same with Higuain. Like he's just maybe he's way better on the ball than Giroud, but still a big man, not pacey, not agile. He's gonna put goals away, but he's not what they're really gonna look for. I don't know.
Right. And the next one, I was going to save this for the end, but I find this one extremely intriguing. I don't know if you've heard, but it's reported that a certain Premier League club has offered somewhere around £60 million for James Rodriguez. Do you want to take a guess at who that club is?
I don't know.
West Ham.
Oh my lord. Oh my. Oh my.
I saw a bunch of stuff about that today, and Real Madrid definitely seems like James Rodriguez is leaving Real Madrid this summer.
Tomorrow on the headlines, hell freezes over. West Ham signs James.
With United and PSG interested, and reportedly also West Ham. So another one, this is good for all you FIFA players out there. Juan Camilo Zuniga has completed a loan move to Watford from Napoli. Emmanuel Jacquerini, who was a key player for Sunderland last season, has completed his transfer to Napoli for a good price of £2 to £3 million. Now, this next one is something that we'll touch on in our podcast later today, just about Everton and United news, is Villarreal are apparently interested in getting Marcus Rojo on a loan deal.
Are you cool with that? Do you want him to go?
Yeah, he's not good enough. He was an exciting signing, a young center back, but he never really proved himself to be able to do really anything.
Right.
He's just, I don't know, maybe if he has a good loan spell, maybe he'll come back and he can find himself, but I prefer Luke Shaw on the left over Rojo.
Definitely.
So this next one is something that I'll ask your opinion on. I'm sure you've heard a lot about it, but it's apparently woken back up today. Is Jorginho Wijnaldum of Newcastle rumored again to Everton?
Well, he's one of those players again where it's like, where is he gonna play? I'm not, too familiar with where he plays for Newcastle. I know he plays attacking mid, so I don't know if he can play on the wings, but maybe we can play him on the left.
He can play on the left. He plays on the left mostly for Newcastle.
Then we could absolutely use him. We could absolutely take him.
Right.
Do you think he's worth 27 million?
Yeah, 27 million pounds. Do you think he's worth that?
It depends on who we sign. If we go out and pay 40 million for Koulibaly, then in comparison, maybe. But I have no idea. That seems really steep from my perspective. I don't know.
Right. And this next one is another one touching on United players leaving, is that no fee was mentioned, but Juan Mata is rumored to RCD Espanyol in the La Liga.
That seems like he's too big for that club.
He is. It's just a rumor. I know that Villarreal are up. Up next is reported that new Chelsea manager Conte wants to bring Valencia defender Shakardin Mustafi to Stamford Bridge this summer. I think that it'd be good for them to get a new center back because I think if Mustafi does move to Chelsea, he probably will be their best center back. I think
Well,
him.
if John Terry can return to his old form, you never know because I mean last season he was abysmal, but the year before he was one of the best defenders in the
He
league.
was
So
he was the best defender in the Premier League,
right,
without doubt. But
and it's not like he's losing a yard of pace is going to really affect him. It's if he can get his mind right back where it was, and you know that's always possible, especially when you get older, you have more experience in the league, and you just never know. He can go back to be even better than he was before. I wouldn't expect it. I wouldn't bet on it, but you never really know. Maybe Mustafi uh, would earn a place, or he'd probably have his place already, but you
yeah,
never know what John Terry could accomplish there,
right.
or even Cahill.
And next, with Leroy Sané looking set to join Manchester City for around £50 million in the next week or so, Schalke are looking for a replacement for him, and in that they have been linked to Dusan Tadic of Southampton, who I remember seeing the past couple of days. I may be wrong. He was in contract talks with Southampton. I don't know if that's true or not, but
I have no idea.
probably not as good as Sane, but for a club like Schalke, I think he could be a decent
Definitely.
replacement. Next is one I wanted to ask you about. I don't know how trustworthy this is, but apparently Leicester City are preparing a bid for Axel Witsel to replace N'Golo Kante.
Um, Actually, I've never heard this report. From what I hear, from the most reliable things that I've heard, it's us still on top, or it's either us or Inter Milan on top of that race, and then Napoli. But I think Napoli doesn't have the money for him, and I have no idea about Inter because I don't know how much money they have or how much ambition they have to sign him. But I haven't heard a thing about Leicester, and if that's true, I think it's a good signing for him. You know, he's definitely a really good box-to-box center mid.
Right, it came out earlier today because that's when Conte. Because yesterday is when Conte officially left and joined Chelsea.
Right, but you got to imagine they already knew he was gone, and they already knew they needed a replacement.
Right.
And maybe us not being so strongly linked with Witzel, maybe that launches them to make that bid. But
Possibly. And next is Diafrasako of West Ham has refused to go on the preseason tour with West Ham, and he has been linked to Sunderland, so I think that move is probably going to go through, and I think Sacco and Jermaine Defoe will be, or not, yeah, Jermaine Defoe will be a good strike partnership for Sunderland. I think they could probably do the job together and keep them up in the Premier League.
definitely.
And next, Sport Italy reported that Everton is willing to increase their bid for Koulibaly up to £50 million.
Again, I think we're overpaying for him now. 40 million is still pretty steep, but you know it's payable. But 50 million, either way, I don't think John Stones is worth 50 million.
Right.
I don't know what's going on with the market for defenders, but if that's what it takes to get another replacement, then I guess we have to pay it. He's a great player. Um, and again, when you think about it, and we're giving away John Stones, and then basically getting Koulibaly and Bonnie. So
Right.
and then we only paid 10 million pounds for the both of them. So I think that's pretty strong on our part.
Good business, yeah.
Right.
And real quick on John Stones, I just want to ask you, how much do you think John Stones would be worth if he was from Egypt? Do you think he would go for 50 million?
4 or 5 million pounds.
Exactly.
Like
because
it's
because I've
because
seen a lot that the people think that the reason that John Stones is going for so much is because he's English.
right. He's not when you watch him, he's great on the ball for a defender for sure. But he gets himself into these situations and he gets himself, you know, dribbling in his own box or with two defenders on him, he's trying to dribble him in the back and all that. And I think that's problematic, but it's because he's 20 something. And you know, for a young player, for a young defender, he's very good. His defense isn't all the way there, and he's not worth 50 million pounds. I don't know why they want to pay him that. I'm not crying about it, but like, yeah.
Next, we have the striker from Ecuador. Could be potentially a second striker that West Ham are losing, and they already need a striker in general. But today it came out that Swansea City are willing to pay £8.4 million with about 2.3 roughly million in add-ons to get Enner Valencia. I don't know if that deal will go through, whether he'll leave West Ham or not is up to the player. But West Ham definitely need a striker in general, and they've been turned down by so many strikers. They're getting way too ambitious with their money, with James and Higuain are both targets of theirs. They think just because they finished high in one season that they can buy all these world-class players, when they're embarrassing themselves by trying to sign all these world-class players. Like Lacazette has turned them down as well, and so has Carlos Bacca of AC Milan.
And that time that they spend trying to sign these crazy players is wasting their time.
That they could be getting players that will sign for West Ham.
It's the same thing that's happening to Everton right now. We're like, oh, we're going to come out and get these world-class center mids. We're going to get all these midfielders. We're going to get all these strikers. And then they're turning us down for China and Napoli and whoever else. And then now, once we don't have these players, we have money but no time. And you can't make those signings.
Right. And next is Riyad Mahrez. We touched on the base yesterday that he was getting set to reject a £100,000 a week contract from Leicester, and now today it was reported that Chelsea are in the race for a signature, but also the Sun. They're not very reliable. We also talked about this move just hypothetically yesterday, but apparently, according to the Sun, like I said, not reliable at all, but according to them, Barcelona are interested in Mahrez, and I don't see anything in that, considering it's the Sun. But like we said yesterday, terrible move for him. Chelsea would be a good move for him. Hazard on the left, Batshuayi, Costa at striker, and Mahrez or Willian on the right. I think that's a good squad depth in the attack for Chelsea and Conte.
Definitely. It'll really add to the attack that they need. They have a good defense, or decent midfield, and that'll definitely help.
Right. I think they have more than a decent midfield if you look at it.
Well, it just depends on if they're really playing into their potential or not. They come out and finish 15th too. So.
Right. And next I can't remember if I saw it from the Sun or the Guardian, but apparently Ronald Koeman is preparing himself to offer £6 million for Euro hero Rui Patricio, the goalkeeper for Portugal.
If this is true, I think that'll be huge. He had an outstanding Euro.
Outstanding. He was by far the man of the match in the Euro final.
Definitely.
He made so many critical saves.
The one that stands out is something that Howard would almost never do, is the one against Griezmann where he has the header and it's floating and he dives back into the top corner and he throws it out. It reminds me of Howard's save, but it's the agility and it's just like it.
The reflexes and
it's just something that we need.
Yeah. You know? I thought he was. And next isn't a transfer, and it's not the Premier League, but I thought it's something interesting that I would add. The managing director of Oxford City was found dead on the training grounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my.
I know. I thought that was something I would add.
Oh my.
And next, this looks like a transfer that could well be announced in the next few days by Tottenham, is from Marseille. George's Kevin Nkudu looks set to move to the White Hart Lane for £11 million. There were a lot of clubs racing for his signature, most notably, again, West Ham. And it looks like he's set to join Tottenham. I don't see him getting a starting spot. But one thing I do want to touch on is, this isn't Premier League, but Marseille have been selling a lot of players.
Yeah.
They're like
lot. They're the French Southampton.
Yeah, they are. And next is, this one ties into Paul Pogba, but Matic from Chelsea looks like he could be going to Juventus.
Oh.
Which looks like they could be signing. So I think the Conte transfer could possibly be linked to the
Pogba transfer.
Pogba transfer, if you think about it.
Right.
Because Chelsea could, this is all hypothetical, but Chelsea could be signing Conte to replace Matic, and Matic could be the potential replacement for Pogba.
Right. All right, guys, we're running out of time, so thanks for listening. This has been the Premier Outlook Podcast.